Dangerous heat and increased fire risk. A couple of factors we'll be tracking as we dig into our first heat event of the year. I'm ABC 10 Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods out of the capital city of California in Sacramento. So we've got our excessive heat warning starting up Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. through Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Some of the impacts we'll be tracking, among many others, heat illnesses, outdoor activities, as well as an elevated fire danger. Now, we actually saw our first big grass fire of the year. Started on Saturday and lasted into our Sunday. Only 30% contained the coral fire. 14,000+ acres already burned. That's just off to the west of Tracy, as you can see right here along 580. Off to the west is the Bay Area. Typically, we see a nice little onshore flow, higher humidity, but those grasses are drying out really quickly. As you can see here, a lot of brown on those hills, and that just adds to the ample fuel available to burn, not only now, but digging deeper into the season. And a little bit of a hazy view out there, but that smoke should disperse rather quickly for tonight, especially as they get better containment. So this is just the model forecast as we head into tonight and into our Monday, but it's all dependent on how that fire does overnight tonight. This is all happening where in the background, we really don't have too much drought going on throughout California. In fact, only category that we have is in the northeast corner with the dry, abnormally dry category with just a little over 1%. So we're drought severity and coverage index 1 right now, which is kind of a rarity for California, but really good conditions here in terms of our drought. Unfortunately, lots of fuel to burn when you don't see rain for several weeks at a time and some warm temperatures. That grass will dry out quickly. So our energy release component, just kind of gauging where we're at for the potential of big fires breaking out. We're kind of in that neutral category, yet we did happen to have that quick burning and rapidly growing fire during our Saturday afternoon. Fire potential Tuesday through Friday will be in the elevated category, mainly because we've got the warm temperatures, breezy north winds, and low humidity. Humidity, not so much a factor for tonight as they're continuing to try to attack that coral fire, but it is going to go down. So we know that CAL FIRE and all the agencies that are responding are working quickly to make sure they get ahead of what's to come for the middle of the week with the excessive heat and the low humidity. The Go Bag 5 Ps, this is the time of year we get them ready. People, pets, papers, prescriptions, and photos. Make sure everything is taken care of here. A lot of the evacuation centers don't take pets or animals. That's one thing that needs to be considered to make sure that those pets are taken care of. As for our forecast for tonight into tomorrow, we still have a lot of cloud cover coming in and a slightly elevated humidity, some rain even for the northeast corner of California. As I said that, I should have said that southeast corner of California for the drought index. I just realized I said northeast. So we've got the rain coming in through the Pacific Northwest, onshore flow, lots of cloud cover, and a quick transition. It's amazing how quickly this is going to all unfold here as we head into our Monday, into our Tuesday forecast. So we've got the onshore flow right now, southwest winds bringing in some of that elevated humidity from the Bay Area. Unfortunately, any kind of wind is never something that firefighters want to see. But what happens with a quick transition is this high pressure ridge builds in, it's sinking warming air, and we just really start to warm things up. Plus, we're going to add in those northwest winds. So about a 15 to 20 mile per hour wind coming in throughout the valley, and that will lower that humidity very quickly, make it accessible for us to have some big warmth building as well. Those winds dry and warm as they head throughout the valley. The other thing I wanted to point out with this is that we hold on to those winds through 10 p.m. on Tuesday, meaning those winds keep that warmer air closer to the surface and will not give us a whole lot of relief overnight. So we have these building heat risks that will be working their way through much of our work week. Monday, not so much. Morning clouds and mild, but Tuesday is the first day of the 100s, and that bumps us into that major heat risk category. Wednesday's the peak heat between 100 and 108. Then Thursday, it's the last day of excessive heat, but the fire danger remains elevated because of all the drying happening. Wednesday, again, the peak heat, you can see its coverage extends all the way into almost all of Southern California, in throughout the Pacific Northwest, where we're talking departure from normal anywhere from about 5 to almost 20 degrees above normal. We'll get some relief coming in late in the week through early into the weekend. But here's the key. we're still going to be above average. So our record highs on Wednesday, how close will we be? Well, this is the forecast versus the record. Downtown Sacramento and Sacramento Executive looks like it's going to be just shy, as well as Stockton. But Modesto, we have a real potential of breaking that record, or at least tying it for our Wednesday. We'll be tracking that among, again, many other things. But the average number of days with temperatures above 95 degrees is 53. When we get into that 100-degree territory, we usually have about 23 days of 100-plus degree heat. So this is just the beginning of what's to come. We usually have 6 days of 105-degree plus temperatures and at least one at 110 degrees. Now, there's plenty of years where we actually don't see that. But again, this is just the beginning of what is a long stretch of very warm temperatures through the summer season. Heat safety tips: sunscreen, SPF at least 30 or above. Wear wide-brimmed hat to protect your face and ears. Take breaks in the shade. It's amazing how much that can cool you down when it is a hot day. And stay hydrated, obviously. Avoid energy drinks and alcohol. Plenty of water if you have to work outside in the heat. And if you're around folks, or if you're just feeling some of these signs yourself, this is when you need to take extra precaution or seek emergency emergency situations. So heat exhaustion, thirsty, dizzy, and nausea, cool and clammy skin, and you're sweating a lot. Now, when you don't sweat at all, that actually is heat stroke. That's when 911 or get to an emergency room. Headache, red, hot, dry skin, and no sweating. Those are a couple of things that can happen certainly in this heat. Mention pets. Hot air equals hotter sidewalks. When the air temperature is just even 95 degrees, concrete can get up to 140, asphalt 155. A real quick test: put the back of your hand onto concrete or asphalt. If it's too hot for you, too hot for the pets to do their walks. Just keep it on the grass or something. This probably goes without saying, but when you take a look at how quickly temperatures warm, even at 95 degrees, within 10 minutes, the inside of a car is 115. When it's 100 degrees outside, 120, 105, goes up to 125. 30 minutes is 140 degrees. And unfortunately, this is the time of year. Patterns are changing, routines are changing. Kids are getting out of school, or work might be shifting, sometimes just to accommodate getting kids to camp and things like that. And that's usually when some of those mistakes happen. Our first 100s, the hottest time of year, 4 to 6 p.m. The overnights are going to be staying warm, and our air quality will be getting worse. We'll be keeping an eye on that. I talked a little bit about the smoke. That is an isolated situation, but some of the things that we'll be dealing with is the building pollution as we get under some fairly calm winds during periods of this heat stretch, as well as just the lack of opportunity for that to kind of clear out during the afternoon and evening. Heat risk as we go throughout this week. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are going to be the major days for us. And you can see on the map here, not everybody is going to be under that major heat risk. It first builds in the valley and then kind of shifts its way off to the east there through the foothills, but expands throughout other parts of the valley. As we head into our Thursday, it's a little bit less of extent, but it will still be very warm outside before we start to get into temperatures that are dropping into the 90s. A lot of places that a lot of people want to hit the waterways when we're dealing with the heat. It is going to be cool and refreshing, but still cold enough to really kind of take your breath away here, especially in the American River and the Tuolumne, where we're running with temperatures in the 50s. A little bit warmer for the San Joaquin and Sacramento rivers, especially as we get farther from that snow melt, because it has an opportunity to warm just a little bit more. Sierra and foothill waters are anywhere from about 35 to 60 degrees because it just depends on the depth of the water. There are lots of changing conditions. Water temperatures, you can see 70 to 60 degrees. It's difficult to breathe. And by the time you get to below 40 degrees, you just start to lose control of your limbs. And it makes it really difficult for emergency personnel to get to you. Cold water fact here: roughly 20% of people who fall in cold water die within the first minute of submersion just due to cold water shock. So another place that might be a little bit safer this time of year are going to be the reservoirs, our beautiful lakes. They are full. They are beautiful after 2 years of some great water coming into California. Everything running at about capacity here and well above average, even through parts of the San Joaquin Valley, you can see things are looking really good right now, anywhere from about 85 to almost 100% of capacity. So again, probably your safer choice is going to be those reservoirs. We're kind of at that first day benchmark for us for the 100-degree day. June 5th is usually when we hit that 105, July 2nd, and our typical first 110-degree day, July 21st. So all of that is yet to come. Last year, we went almost through the entire month of June before we hit 100 degrees. It took us until June 29th, June 30th before we hit 100. And when we did it with authority. We were anywhere from 101 to 105 in the valley. That was our first 100-degree day. But June is usually right about that time that we start seeing that. Our record hottest temperature for downtown Sacramento, June 30th, 1934 at 112 degrees. Here's a look at the pattern shift. Again, that low pressure system bringing us that nice onshore flow just moves off to the east here, and behind it, here comes that high pressure ridge. It's sinking, warming air. It peaks on Wednesday. We got a little bit of relief coming our way by the time we get to the weekend, but we've also got this slight chance of some thunderstorms developing for the Sierra. Another thing we'll watch. Right now, the moisture content's pretty good for that soil as well as the fuels. So even if we do see some thunderstorms, if we get some wetting rain with it, we should be okay. We'll continue to watch it, though. Leaning warmer into our long-range forecast. So it looks like temperatures like this are going to be a very real possibility digging into the middle of June. 8 to 14-day weather hazards. We have a potential to see a bit of a wind event developing through Southern California. We'll watch that, and the heat sticks with us here. It will start to shift off to the east ever so slightly by the end of that 8 to 14-day period. So a look at that 5-day regional forecast. This is what I was talking about Wednesday and Thursday. Slight chance of those thunderstorms coming into the Sierra. We're dry for the valley and the hills. We'll see those highs in the foothills warming into the upper 90s. For the coast, even warm, near 80 on Tuesday. Wednesday, we're still in the mid-70s before we start to see cooler weather there. With our 10-day forecast really showcasing when we hit that peak heat. It's very evident, obviously. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we come out of the 80s, jump into the 100s there. And like I said, even when we cool, we're still around 90 degrees for our weekend forecast, which is about 5 degrees above average. We've got a complete weather playlist on ABC 10 Plus. Make sure you download that on Apple TV, Roku, and Fire TV. We've got the weather specials along with extended weather forecasts just like this.